Hello and welcome to Columbus Local Podcast. I'm Len D'Amico and this is episode number 112. Today we have the great pleasure to introduce Brandon Anderson.
Hey everybody, I'm so happy to be here on episode 112. This is insane.
It is insane, man. It is. And, you know, this is an insane week for Columbus local music. As far as you're concerned, sir, you've got a heck of a background. You have a heck of a story we're going to talk about. But you're bringing all of that to a Friday night gig.
It's true.
This week.
It's true. Hold on a second. I'm going to switch I gotta pump my chair up.
You got the,
okay, cool. There it is. Now I feel like a big boy. Yes. I will be I am now a part of the Martini Affair. We are jamming this Friday at Tuttle Creek Tavern. I can't wait.
On Hamilton Road.
Yeah, Hamilton Road.
161 Hamilton area.
Mm-hmm.
Turtle Creek, one of the premier clubs in Columbus, Ohio. Martini Affair has been around, and Jimmy King has been the creative force behind that. And Brandon bringing you into that fold is a big deal, man.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I got involved with the Martini Affair with a colleague of mine from Shadowbox Live. I've been actually a resident ensemble member for about 24 years. I've just ended my time with Shadowbox as a sketch comedian, a writer, and a vocal performer there. So I had a colleague who had performed with me there. She had moved on a couple of years before me, and then she had heard that the Martini Affair. She's been working with, as you know, Jimmy will put you to work. If you're talented in this town. And so she'd been working with Jimmy on another project, and there was an opening in the Martini Affair. He said, "Hey, I know a great guy, and I want to get you two together." So turned out that we met at the right time, and I was ready for a transition, and so were they. And so far it's been amazing.
Boom.
Yeah. I mean, I'm working with some of the coolest musicians in Columbus. I cannot believe how lucky I got.
Brandon, I there's something to be said with kind of going where you feel good.
Yeah.
You know, you guys all seem to have the right amoeba DNA,
Yeah.
feeling, what a performance is and how you guys deliver it.
Well, yeah, I think that being in a cover band and, it's for those of us who aren't in the game, you may think, oh, you're in a cover band. That's something that's not an original band. That's something different than, or even less than, which is, of course, as we know, ridiculous. But what you find in that situation is this common respect for the music and the performance, and more importantly, what that song is supposed to bring out in people, and that's what I love about it. I've been doing cover performances for years, and coming from it from a different angle, like in a sort of a cabaret environment. If you have been to a Shadowbox Live show, there is sketch comedy and sketch comedy on one side of the stage, and then rock and roll on the other side. So it's kind of a live, in-your-face Saturday Night Live kind of energy. So I'm used to bawdiness. I'm used to high energy, but more importantly, what I think is critical is to interpret an intense moment, to interpret emotion and be able to bring it. So understanding what a song is, it's more than just learning the words, the notes, the structure. It's about what is that person feeling? What were they writing at the time of the song? What did they put in the can that day, and how you can bring that out. So It's like a mission. Each song is its own little scene. And that's been how that's how I approach my work as a singer. And so when I was able to meet the Martini Affair with their performance energy, it was kind of a match. So it's been great so far.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge. I can't wait to see you guys together. Personally, I mean, I've been a fan of Martini Affair for some time, and I have some history with Jimmy King back in his early days in Columbus, but and it's been great knowing, when you meet somebody, there's something unique about their spark.
Yeah.
Each of you in Martini Affair have that,
Yeah.
that spark, right? What, you know what I'm talking about?
I do. I think it was so funny when we all met and got together. The meeting. It was so cool because it was what I always wanted. Like a guy says, "Hey, I want you in my band. Let's meet at a bar and we'll talk about it." And I was like, "Oh, this is great."
Jimmy King.
That's right. So we meet up at Tip Top for all us here in the C. We are in the bus rather.
Right over here.
Yeah, that's right. We just met right over at Tip Top, and I walk in, and there's Tiffany, and there's Jimmy, and Johnny's there too, our drummer, and they're all sitting at the table, and we just start talking. The vibe is just hitting from immediately. What you could feel right then and there was this like, "Oh, we want you," and I was like, "Oh, I want to be with you guys," And,
That's
and
the spark.
we hadn't sung a note, we hadn't sang a note together, we hadn't played anything together, but when you are with people that are just of like mind, especially in this game, it is so much easier to make music with people that you like. And I think that's how good bands become great, because even if you're not working at the time, even if you guys get together as a band or as a group or project and you're not where you want to be, that respect that you have for where you want to get to, it just helps you build each other up. And you could tell, like, Jimmy is like the kind of guy that is so
supportive.
Yeah, supportive. He came to me and said, "Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, I want you to hang out with us. We're a family. We are tight. We care about each other, because it's more than just being on stage with us." And like, he unloaded this to me in like off the rip. And I was like, that's amazing. Like, to have that kind of honesty up front. And you could also tell that he had been through a lot of situations where he was dealing with what he didn't want to be in,
right.
And to have that courage, to just go ahead and say, "Here's what I'm not going to deal with. I don't care how talented you may be or what you might bring to something." What was first in our conversations and what was first in joining the band was, can you relate to us as human beings? Because if we can get there first, then
you can communicate.
And if you can communicate, everything is easier.
Yep.
Like when you can just turn around, lock eyes with your drummer, and like we're moving forward with like we got to make a change, whatever the case may be on stage. If you can connect that easily, it's because you have a relationship of trust. And I think that's what Jimmy wanted to be sure that we had early on, and I already feel that, and it's been a great induction into the scene.
Yeah, so it's so awesome, Brandon, to see you take this on, to take it on and to have a glimpse though in where you've been and now stepping into this, and this is one facet of a very broad array, if you will, of interests and artistic, creative juices and energy that you're going to be folding into this particular project. And what is the date on Friday, just so we can?
It's the 23rd.
May the 23rd.
That's right.
Which is Friday night.
That's Friday night.
This week. Mm-hmm. We're recording this on Monday. It'll be this coming Friday.
This will be coming Friday,
And so this will be your first full gig.
Yeah. We've done a couple teasers, couple rehearsals, couple sort of trial gigs. But yeah, this will be the debut.
And it's going to be huge, man. And honestly, I wish I was going to be. Beth and I would typically be there with something like this, because it's going to be the place to be on Friday night.
People are so excited, and I am as the energy comes back at me, it is so it's humbling all over again. Like when we were talking about me joining, you make those announcements on social media, and like some mutual colleagues that we, like Jimmy and Tiffany and I have, they're all coming, like, "Brandon's now with you guys," or like, even, and then my friends were texting me, "You just got linked up with the Martini Affair." Yeah, and then like my wife gets a call from Cassie, who of course you guys know, and she says, "Brandon's in the Martini Affair now." Like, I mean, and then Jimmy came back and to me, he said, "There are so many people that I respect that are respecting this move for us." And it seems like when I tell people, they're like, this is, they give you that knowing.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
You're gonna have
this
fun.
is it.
You're gonna have fun,
brother.
but it's fitting for everyone.
Yeah.
It's you found a home. For this outlet for you.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be a lot of fun to see how this thing rolls out.
Right on. Yeah, I think that as a singer and as a singer and as an actor and as a creative, you can get you want to get pulled in so many directions. Actually, I'm not comfortable doing just one thing. I like to do a lot of things great. I don't need to do anything phenomenally, but I want to do a lot of things great. And I also know that one discipline also always helps the other. Being versed in sketch comedy as I've been has helped me be so open to the opportunity that rock can bring. Music, being a vocalist, being a front man, it's a whole persona in and of itself. It's a character that you're able to put on. And a lot of times people ask you, like, how do you do it? And the trick is to just pretend you are the rock star that you thought you were in the basement of your parents' house when you were 8.
Yeah.
When you be that person. If you took a hairbrush in your hand and pretended to rock out, that's who I am. That's me. I'm always about between 9 and 11 years old on stage, being the rock star that I thought I would never be because it wasn't a career choice. You know what I'm saying?
It's always a choice.
It's always a choice.
But is it the pragmatic route?
Right.
Did you face that question for yourself at some point? The route, the pragmatic aspect of pursuing this type of stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, just as entertainment as a whole. I remember when I was younger, you always think about, you watch TV and you see who you want to be, And so when I was a kid, I thought, wow, I watched Trading Places with Eddie Murphy. I thought, that seems cool. Hey, I want to be a banker like Eddie Murphy is in Trading Places. And then I saw Boomerang a few years later and it was like, oh, wow, I want to be a marketing executive like Eddie Murphy in Boomerang.
Right.
And as it turns
That's
out,
a great movie, by the way.
Oh my God.
If I have to veg out at 2 a.m., I'm putting Boomerang on. Why?
No, word for it.
Because it's a great movie.
Because it's a great movie. Because it's a great movie. And then I just realized, wait a second, I don't want to be all those things. I want to be Eddie Murphy. and I kept looking for him for this inspiration on what to do because I wanted this lifestyle. It turns out I wanted to be all those things.
Yeah.
And of course, Eddie was also doing the singing to his own, degree and success. And I also realized early on that comedy and music have, they are the same thing. Comedy is music and music is comedy. Funny people sing and people who sing are funny. It has always been the case that I've encountered. And being able to be a good comedian helps you understand rhythm and breaks, pitch, tone, percussive. Sometimes you have to wait until that offbeat to say the right thing.
Oh yeah.
It's the same thing with music. It's the same thing with improvisation. So, I am so happy that my life has been able to find its way. I've been able to find my way.
You seem like a genuinely happy person.
I am. I think it's because I have been able, actually, I'll tell you why. I think there's an interview I saw a long time ago. I think it was Trevor Noah was talking to Jerry Seinfeld, and he said, how old are you? He asked Seinfeld. Yeah. Seinfeld says, I'm 62 years old. He says, you look amazing. And Seinfeld says, because I never worked a day in my life. I've never had a real job. And I haven't. Like since I graduated from Xavier, I was born and raised here, went to Columbus Alternative High, went to Xavier University in Cincinnati, studied public relations, minored in theater, spent more time in musicals and theaters than I was in labs or, internships with public
on
relations.
campus there
Yeah.
or in the Cincinnati?
In on campus. And did I do? Yeah, I did a couple. Yeah, I did a couple shows with some local comedy troupes there, some couple improv troupes.
Cool.
Nothing. Yeah. Oh yeah, and then I did. I did a couple shows with some productions with some small production houses there. And after I left college, I was just a couple weeks out, one day away from getting an application at the Banana Republic to be a manager since I had a degree, and I saw that this organization called Shadowbox Live was holding auditions for a Cincinnati venue. I was like, all right, well, I'll give it a shot.
Sure.
And I did, and I got in, and then they said, great, you're a part of it. And I didn't know anything about anything. I'd done, like I said, I'd done a little bit of this, a little bit of that through college, but like had no idea. I was definitely wasn't thinking I was going to be a professional performer. And I thought I'd do it for a little while, maybe a year, find my way. I'll take it. It's my emotional gap year before I become a real adult. I'll do this thing and then I'll get a job, right? It'll be fun. That was like a quarter century ago.
Good for you.
Yeah. So it's been great. Now I'm closing up on my career at Shadowbox Live. I just ended my time there last month because I'm looking to do more independent work as a creative. We're starting a production company with a couple friends and colleagues. Shut Up a Second is it's going to be my own creative outlet for plays and original work.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
We're in production right now. We're putting together a collaborative project with Evan Williams, who's a local artist. We are working on some education programs that'll teach sketch comedy writing, improv comedy to young folks, resource planning for actors to help them present themselves well on the internet. Outlets on how to build a good website. My career as a working actor is something that's not kind of publicized, and there are thousands and thousands of folks like me that are acting, doing their own thing, gigging with bands, joining great work, like, joining great bands with Martini and still being able, like Martini Affair, and still being able to do what they do. And that's the vast majority of us. And I think that there are people out there, actually, I know that there are people out there that don't realize that you can have a life doing this to live freely, just create. And so much of our lives are about checking off boxes. Process,
Tell me about it.
Like I was just having dinner last night with a buddy of mine. He was talking, he's from a small town. And he was talking about how his friends are just he's about, he's a little younger than me. And he's talking about how his friends are lapping him in life. He's feeling like he's not doing the right thing because, he's still got a girlfriend and they're not married, and he's not married. He doesn't have the kids. He's still he doesn't have the job. And you're like,
who cares about the Joneses, man?
Who cares, right?
No.
Because, the Joneses they're the people who are going to come and watch you do what you do. Yeah. If it's not for people like us, what are the Joneses going to do all damn night? So it's
a good question.
It's really important for me to be an artist that is accessible and stable, and not stable, should be stable.
Of sound mind, though.
Oh, definitely. Meaning
right?
that.
That's what you mean by stable.
I mean it. Yeah, I do. I mean,
you have perspective,
right? And you have perspective, and you're able to make a clear choice about what you want out of life, and say and to move meaningfully and purposefully through life. And a lot of times, people feel like they have to give up what makes them happy in order to live a purposeful life. And I thought I had to do that for a long time. I thought I had to do it for a long time. Like, even once I started working as a professional, for years and years and years, I kept putting a time clock on it. I'll wait till, I'm 25. I should probably get a job, 30. Oh, rolling around at 30, maybe I should do my thing. And, then 35, then the 40s roll in. And just even at the start of the pandemic, as we all know, everyone's always got that before and after. Going into that, and wondering whether or not our industry was going to survive, or if people were ever going to go back out and talk to each other like they were, and interact like we had known all our entire existence. Even in that spot, I said to myself, this is what I want to do. And so I need to find a way to make that happen. And when I said this, I think what it meant was living freely and making the choices that I wanted to make for myself.
Yeah.
And I think art is the way that I can make that happen for myself. And so that's kind of why I do what I do.
Yeah. And you're breaking out onto your own, starting your own. What was the name of your?
My company is Shut Up a Second. It's dedicated to the idea that we don't take enough time for ourselves to listen to each other. Like we don't.
Oh my God.
We don't enjoy one another. Instead of making a stand about something all the time, why don't you just shut up a second and laugh? Shut up a second and listen. Shut up a second and learn. And the idea that silence, like we've all heard them, and their silence is golden. Children are better seen than not, or better seen and not heard, or you know what I'm saying, seen and not heard. But I think that those lessons were always about a moment of stillness, so that you could learn from each other. And I think that what we're gonna attempt to do is to give people an opportunity to find art that is accessible through a lot of different ways, straight plays, music events, music plays, to help them understand the power of art in their own way.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. So we're really looking forward to it. It's me and my wife and a couple of colleagues that I've been doing plays with for about 15 years.
Love it.
And so we're gonna hopefully start production here within the next year. So it should be great.
Awesome.
Which complements what I'm doing, on the rock stages so well. So it's kind of weird to talk about it because when you talk about it, you put it into the world, And I think that aside from our planning and everything, I think I didn't even talk about it. I just leaked some stuff. I should have had a whole marketing
stuff out there.
Yeah, I just when talking with you now about it makes it realer than it has ever been, because it's no longer in my office. It's no longer in my planning meetings. We're talking about it.
Do you have any type of? Do you have a website?
No,
that
not
describes
yet.
This yet?
Okay. Not yet, but
Yep.
It is coming. Yeah, will it be ready by the time? No, not just yet. No,
Well, this will be published in 5 minutes after we're done.
No, I don't think it will be.
But I could hold off a little while. But I want to hit this before your show.
Yeah,
on Friday.
no. Yeah, let's keep it. That's fine. Website's coming. We'll add it to the show notes on the site, right?
Yeah, man, absolutely. Yeah, and I can always edit it back.
That's what I'm talking about.
Just let me know when it's ready. It'd be cool.
It sounds great. Yeah,
for
but
people
I feel
to see that, for you.
Yeah, and actually, and I probably was like, yeah, and my wife's gonna listen. And I tell her, but the website's not ready. She's the designer. She's the webmaster. But I'm so excited to get it going. And I think and with us talking about what's going on in town and what's happening, it's important to get it out into the world. So now
It is important. I'm learning a lot about listening.
Mm-hmm.
A lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing too that playing bass in particular, my listening skills have gone through the roof. Like, it's insane.
Wow.
But just because bass, just that roll. But for you being out front, are you listening or are you on your own world?
Great question. To me, it feels like I'm gonna in the performance moment. It's like I'm going to go do something, but I have to check to my left and right to make sure everybody's with me at the same time.
Really?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Being a front is you make a choice every moment on stage. You know, am I going to bring everybody with me, or am I going to do this just for me?
Yeah, you're gonna go out on the catwalk.
That's right. Or am I going to go out on the catwalk?
That's so funny to hear you say this.
It is.
But I can see that in a lot of vocalists though, and a lot of front people. You know?
And you know, looking back, like just like, you know, we sat here and talked. We talked about Jimmy like for a good chunk, and like because Jimmy is the power behind what we're doing, right?
He is the DNA of Martini.
He's the DNA, right? Yeah. And so, but like when those people come to Leon's Garage, you know, when they get in Leon's Garage or when they come to Turtle, and they see us work, what they'll see is a band with a lead singer. And you know, that dynamic is what we present to the audience. And it's so odd when you know that there's like that it's all, you know, that front man situation, like that's a performance in and of itself. You know, you're not leading the band, you're in the lead position of the band. So to take what we all want for the best of it, we all want to put on the best show, and you know the audience is going to be looking at what comes out, or looking and watching you to set the pace for the band. Right. It's kind of being it's about being a standard bearer, you know. And especially with a brand that's as established as Martini Affair, when I tell people what I'm doing, they're like, yes is the correct answer. Yes, you did the right thing.
You did do the right thing.
It's so great. It's so cool. It's so cool. It's you just want to honor that, you know. You just want to honor that, and that's what I've been telling that's what I'm telling the band in our rehearsals and in our prelim gigs here. Just like, you know, whatever I can do to make things great.
So how are you going to balance that with, because you have Tiffany there too,
right?
And the two of you together have the same attitude, the same goal, to do the same delivery. But, you know, the cool thing about it is everybody's got the same attitude. It's about the presentation as a whole. Right?
Yeah.
And getting the first step forward as a whle.
Yeah. And that is why I think the Martini Affair brings such that we're so impressionable. There it is. Yeah. I need my dinner. Impressionable, because you're getting the energy of two live performers. You know, Tiffany, you know, there are songs where we're together, and then Tiffany's got her jams, and then I've got my jams. Yep. But when she takes the stage, and like I just watched her in the back, like I just watched from off stage when she had a good chunk in the set the last time we played together. I was just watching her work, and she owned that crowd. You know, God, she's about this big, you know, and then with, you know, so she's rocking those boots, and she puts her arms up, and sparkles everywhere, and everybody just,
they're done.
And she is, because she's so earnest in her performance, and she's so dedicated giving people a good time. Like, she's intensely there for you. And that's what makes that's what I love about this band. They are intensely there
for you.
Like a couple kids showed up at our gig, and we were going to do CeeLo. We were going to do that's everyone's favorite CeeLo Green song, past 10 years. And Jimmy shouts out, "Kids on the floor, we're doing it clean." And I'm like, "Damn it." It's fine. I'll add the syllables.
So what is the clean version?
It's Forget You.
Forget You.
Right?
Forget. Okay,
See?
thank you.
Look at this bass player. He doesn't know anything about the funk.
No, hell no. Oh, I know funk.
But nothing but the funk.
Lenny Kravitz that's a good line.
Yeah, thank you for that. I got to go home and add that to the song list.
God, yeah.
A little Mama Said. A little Always on the Run.
Always on the Run.
Always on the
That's
Run.
my line. And I'm locked in with my drummer, man. Oh, I love that song. Love it.
Yeah,
that's my favorite bass line.
Oh my God!
Because you can jank that thing all over the place.
Yeah, you know, mine is I Want You Back from the Jackson 5. That solo that runs in the line, I love it.
You know, here, I'm going to share this with you, and then we'll get back to you.
Okay.
Last night, I think I shared with you, we were at District West, and we had this fabulous Women Who Rock members had an event with Greta Goodbottom's show.
Oh, right on.
And so we afterward, who came in but Amber and her saxophone player of Mojo Flow laid down this 6x6 smack in the face, 6x6 4 in my face of just throwing down. And she comes out with her saxophone player and she says, what do you guys want to hear? And I said, I'm looking at her and I'm looking at the sax player. These guys are dressed to the nines. They look, and I know who they are. And I said, how about Shaka Khan's? No, the song's. I'm not going to remember the song, but it was fabulous.
Yeah,
it was a fabulous rendition of which one is it? I'm not going to waste anybody's time, but those guys. It was the two of them with a backing track, and it was to not a big audience, but they were playing at Shea Stadium, man.
Yeah.
That's what Martini Affair does. But they are playing to huge crowds.
They do play to huge crowds.
But they're playing at every single one of those people.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? And I think it's because the crowd looks at us and sees they would be doing the exact same thing if they were by themselves in the rehearsal in Johnny's basement doing rehearsals. They're the same, and we are. It's not about, like, if we're not having fun with each other, how can you possibly have fun with us? So that energy, like, oh my God. And then to lock into it, to see that all bubbling, just to be new and just be able to jump right into it.
It's going to be fun, man.
That's what it's been really, really awesome to work with Tiffany, and to develop, a working relationship that's just built on this mutual respect and trust. You know, like, she has, and we both shared stories, all of us have shared stories about working with people that you're wondering why they're here. You know, why they decided to make music and entertainment their life's goal, because they don't seem like they want to make people happy, or themselves for that matter. And here you are performing with them. Good Lord. And you know, and
they don't know. Sometimes they don't know.
You don't know, and you're just like, wow, man. And you got this guy, and he's doing it. He's ripping, and like you don't even want to see him you don't even want to talk to him during set break. And but with these guys, we're able to share those stories because we're all at a point in our lives where we're saying, never again am I going to do that. So we have been able to build a relationship quickly because we have decided I'm me, and here's what I expect of you. Yeah. Not in like a bold or audacious way, but like just presenting yourself and saying, here's who I am. This is what I love, and so someone can easily say, I see you, and learn how to respect you. Yeah. When you teach people how to treat you, which is what we all have to learn the hard way, you're able to get exactly what you want. And because of that honesty, we're really on the right track, I think. And then there's just great musicians. There's Jimmy. There's Johnny back there on the drums. There's Will Newsom on guitar. He's a walking jukebox. I swear.
He is.
Like every riff you could possibly think of. And you know, and then like and I've got these in-ear monitors now because Jimmy keeps it tight. You know, he keeps a high-tech existence. So I got my in-ear monitors going. Nice, and man. I hear these you know, we're all, the three of us, Will and Tiffany and I are starting to thread harmonies together and find out what makes this cover even better and how we can martini it up, if you will. It's we're all just excited to just grow with each other.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Mm-hmm. I can't wait.
Yeah,
can't wait to see these shows.
It should be great.
You have been in some cover bands in the past. What genre are your roots that you're kind of bringing into this fold of
Yeah, it's
this new venture for you?
Yeah, R&B and funk are what I'm well versed in. Rock is, well, I'd say R&B and rock, or funk and rock. Gosh, what is it, Brandon? What do you do? Funk and rock.
Funk and rock.
Yeah, funk and rock.
Yeah.
I think is really what I've been driven to.
Living Color in the 90s.
Living Color.
I love that music, man. I still listen to that music.
Corey Glover's voice is so accessible. I don't know what
For you?
For me.
For your range.
For my range.
Really?
Because his voice helps you remember where rock and roll comes from. You know, rock and roll is blues with energy. You know, not to simplify it, all you fantastic musicians listening. I don't mean that. But like I don't mean to oversimplify it, but there's a soul and a power that he brings to rock that was missing for a while. And he's able to sing with a soulful passion, but have it with the driving ambition of rock that I really love. You know, he sounds like a soul singer who does rock.
Yeah.
And that's what it made me feel like I could do rock too.
But it rings genuine.
That's right. That's what I'm trying to say.
You know what I mean?
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
And he's always been one of my favorites too.
Yeah,
Definitely. And that band, that Vivid album, the album Vivid, I think it was their first commercial success. Had a lot of that DNA.
Right. And then like understanding that, they ran because, groups like Fishbone crawled, when we're talking about black artists, in rock, black artists in punk and metal, it made me feel like I could do more types of music. And then after I started doing Living Color, then I went back to other things and realized that it's never about sounding like that person. It's about feeling like that person.
Oh my God, you are speaking just volumes to
It's
me.
like I did for the longest time I did a funk review, and it was a funk anthology, kind of taking us through sort of the history of funk in an alternative way, sort of focusing on a lot of the Ohio roots about the genre. And we start with Papa's Got a Brand New Bag. And so I'm doing, now you hear me talking right now, y'all. And I'm doing Papa's Got a Brand New Bag. Did about 2-3 James Brown songs throughout my career there. A lot of staples, Sex Machine, all that. And people would come up to me and say, "You are James Brown. You sounded just like him." And I said, "No, I didn't. But I knew what he was saying.
And you could feel him.
So I could feel it.
You could feel him.
So you feel it. And that's where, like, or like it's not just noise. It's underlying the point. And
it's just rhythm.
It's rhythm. And there are points in the time in the composition where his voice is the instrument. Mm-hmm. And then you take that and then you understand that vocalization of that voice as instrument, that got threaded through hip hop, it got threaded through Kanye. I mean, like, all of that started there. And when you just look at rock for raw as a raw emotion, rather than the structure that you have to live in, or if it's right or wrong, about just getting to an emotional point, it's been easier for me to sing and be honest in my performance. Having a soulful voice, singing rock music.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what aside from those roots, what can we expect with you doing in Martini Affair publicly?
I'll be doing a lot of rock. We're doing everything from let me think. Yeah, I got some Van Halen in there.
Oh, cool.
We've got some. I'm drawing a blank on all of this.
It's okay. No, I mean, just genre-wise, you're gonna be picking up everything in parties, hard,
everything. Like
popping.
If you dance to it, we're playing it. And then there are some songs there are like line songs and line dances that you don't imagine that live bands do, and we do.
Yeah.
We are very committed to bringing the feel of the song to you.
Oh yeah.
So we play it like you remember it, not like we want to play it. Like we're not giving you an interpretation, we're giving you the energy of what you love. Which is art in and of itself, it's not copying, it's celebrating art with people together. That's what cover singing is to me. And that's what makes a good Martini Affair show. We're all partying together.
Oh yes.
So
yeah, the whole sea.
Yeah, absolutely.
The whole sea of party people.
Yeah.
And it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
With you being in the mix, man.
Yeah, man.
Totally cool. What other aspects of your influence do you think really is going to kind of spawn into it a little more time? Your company, for example, and Martini Affair is going to take some of your time, but where are you spending the rest of your time creatively?
There's also a project that I work on, not so much immersed in art, but it is an artful project. It's a small branding and web development firm my wife and I run called Sage 9 Creative. And what we do is help small businesses and consultants find their own voice and then rebrand them and get their messaging online and help them find out who they are, and then more importantly, help them run their business effectively and efficiently through a range of boutique or what do we call them? Custom apps.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Custom apps. So I do. That's kind of like my day gig, but it's still pretty creative. So right now we are gearing up into a new phase of that. Really, really hitting full steam there. There's a website for that. That's sage9creative.com, folks. If you're looking for an alternative and artistic approach to your branding experience. So thank you.
My son's in the business.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you a little bit about that.
Right on. But it has, it's right now in addition to all of that for me, I'm at a place in my life where I'm looking at the world in a different light. I'm 46. I've left a career after 25 years. I'm starting new ventures, new projects. And so it's been really, it's a time for me to really decide how the second act of my life is going to go. So I'm really in this great creative space right now, and I think in the next year, I should have that direction on what's next for me kind of laid out a little more clearly. But I love this place I'm in right now to just explore and to grow and to learn.
Gotta love it.
Yeah, man. It's great.
Are you still woodshedding songs though with all of that going on for this show on Friday? Or are you good at this point?
I'm good. Right now, Martini's at a place where we've got a great show for you. You're gonna have a great show.
Oh yeah.
And then what's next as we evolve and grow over in the next? Because right now we are kind of deciding who we are as a band in this configuration right now. So right now we're recutting the set list and looking at new songs, adding some things that are new, that are technically new releases out there. But there are also a lot of songs that I feel that will speak to us that have been sitting in Martini's woodshed for a long time. I'm like, hey guys, we should do this. And John was like, oh yeah, we did that 5 times. I said, well, we need to do it again. Let's go.
With you.
With me. And that's the thing. They're like, I don't know. I said, but we haven't done it with me. So
So you're pushing these guys a little bit. Yeah, that's good.
I
That's
do,
good.
and I think and they're pushing me too, like
Yeah.
to really get into to push towards hip hop and rap, because those are always surprising aspects in a live cover band. When music gets to when you get to get all genres of music in a live atmosphere. You're just in love with music, period. And that's what I really love. Like, sometimes people are like, oh, I don't like that kind of music. That's because you never heard it live.
Right.
You
didn't hear it the way you did.
Have you ever been to a country concert? Nah, then yeah, that's why you don't like country. That's why you don't like it. You've never seen these people.
Do you like country?
I appreciate it.
Oh, there you go.
I do, because it, first of all, great stories. Ballads are still happening.
Great stories are all the same, aren't they?
Tractors are sexy.
Come on.
People are leaving people. They don't know where they're going. But their love's going to turn it around by the bridge. You're going to have something. You're going to have a happy ending in 2.5 minutes, bro.
Yeah, the hook, I'll give you that. The hooks are classic.
But you got to think about it, though. Like,
You can't call it cheating because she reminds me of you. I mean, come on. They're all the same, aren't they? Kind of.
aren't they kind of? I don't know. I mean, like,
It's horrible.
okay.
It can be.
All right. Yeah, I am. See, I tried, folks. I tried. But yeah, I think I got a big respect for country, and some of the songs are just fun to sing. Some of them are just fun to sing. And I'm looking forward to. There's a couple I'm looking forward to, because I wouldn't mind breaking out some old school stuff from like back in the days.
Like what? I'm gonna put Jimmy on the spot. I know I'm doing it.
I could do some Garth. I'd do some Garth. I'd do some Alabama. I'd do some. Yeah,
I don't know either. He's got all that going on the other side.
Yeah.
That other thing. He's
got a whole nother situation.
A whole other
going.
country act.
Yeah, that are super
coming up.
Which I might say, I don't know who I haven't met them yet, but they're
don't
super
either.
tall, because I go into the studio and I always have to readjust the microphones. So, Jimmy, if you could tell the guys in the country unit to take the mics down before rehearsal, is very emasculating. Thank you. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, but I think it's cool to be a part of like a unit, like you mentioned. Like Jimmy's got all these different bands.
Oh, yeah.
Like, to be a cog in that kind of wheel is pretty cool too. So
Absolutely, man. No, I think it's going to be exciting. I think Columbus, the scene is going to be digging this. These shows that are coming up in 25 for Martini Affair, I know will be bigger and better, beyond anything that anyone could possibly imagine with all the circumstance and all the situations and coming together, the five of you. It's so cool to see, because I know that spark was there, and then with you in there, the spark's even bigger.
yeah, that's what the guys say too. I mean, it's so. I mean, it's just the most amazing environment. After the first rehearsal, I just got texts from everybody individually, like, "Oh my God, it's so great that you're with us," and
You guys just knew.
we just knew.
Yeah.
It was just kind of new. It was just really cool to just kind of step in and work. Especially, that's what it was. Stepped in. We had intros, like Jimmy and Tiff and Johnny and I had met early before our first rehearsal, and then we worked with Will in that first rehearsal, and afterwards it was just, yeah, that's right. We got together. What do you guys want to start with? Let's go sing. And so we just opened up, and I can't remember what we did first, maybe Uptown Funk or something like that. But it was there. The energy was there, and you're like, this is why you guys have such a great reputation. And I was very blessed to hear that in return. This is why people told us you were a good kid.
That's awesome.
It's been great.
That's awesome.
But yeah.
Awesome. What are your goals this first year, 2025, with this particular new venture with Martini Affair? Do you I think you've talked a lot about the DNA and the camaraderie, but do you have a personal goal with this?
Yeah. I want to double the bookings that we have right now. Now that we'll be able to be public and to see where we are, because I think that, obviously, as the band was transitioning, Jimmy was just unable to, like, you can't promote what you don't know.
Right.
And now that we're together, I'm really looking for this first event to launch, and so that now we have something, we have an imprint of us to say, this is now you see who we are now. And I think that we should be out playing more. We should be doing more. And
I don't think you're gonna have any problem.
I hope not. Because
yeah,
I do.
It's gonna be big.
Because this whole thing of not working is great. Like, not working for a living is awesome. So the more I can get out here and rock out, the better. And I think I found the right crew to do it with.
Oh my God, yeah.
So
No question. Yeah, it's gonna be fun, man.
yeah.
Cannot wait. Any road stories? Any story that you want to maybe leave the crew with on this episode? Like some favorites?
Road stories?
Maybe something at Shadowbox that was so hilarious that you're not going to want to throw anybody on the bus.
No. Yeah, let's talk about
a gig.
No, I got a great one.
By the way, Tiffany loves tooth stories.
Tooth stories?
Funny story about a tooth, knocking a tooth out. It's a thing for her. I don't know what it is.
God, and you also and she's got. I'll tell you what her other thing is, and this is weird. Gas station hot dogs apparently are a thing,
dude.
Yeah,
I know.
Do you know this?
I do. It's hilarious.
I didn't even think. You meet her and you wouldn't even
think she's this
just a sweet little girl,
maybe some sassafras and toasted
like with
almond type thing,
she's you look like an avocado toast kind of situation, right?
She's not.
No, she wanted that nitrate bomb, and I was floored.
Yeah.
But it takes all kinds. But yeah, I think wow, craziest story.
It doesn't have to be crazy. I'm just
Oh no, it is. It was my first major song at Shadowbox. I was doing
So it was at a show.
Yeah, it was at a show. So, we do these variety shows, and I was doing the show we were doing had Devil in the Blue Dress, Mitch Ryder and Detroit Wills, right? So it's my first song, and I'm so excited. The kid's finally in. He's getting his shot, right? So I'm upstairs, and I'm just cracking jokes up in the dressing room.
How old were you?
I was 22.
Wow.
Yeah, 23. And it's my first song, and it's like the second night of the show. And I'm upstairs cracking jokes with the people. So, the dressing room's in this loft situation off the stage. And I was tracking, and, I'd missed my preset, be in the dark before the sketch. And so I hear them go boom, boom. And I'm supposed to be on stage, doing a whole routine, dancing with my backups right now. And I'm not doing that. And I can't make it. I'm like, oh my God. I hear the first bar go, and I'm hauling ass down the stairs, right? I'm hauling ass. So I make it, and we've got these 3 tiers. We've got this 3-tiered stage. It's the singer stage, guitars on top, and then we've got the percussion, so it's got pop, pop, pop. And I'm making it on stage, and I'm coming in from stage left, and do boom, boom, boom. And then you hear that glissando, and so when the glissando hits and it goes down, I'm in the air. I jump off. I enter from the guitar stage, jump off the guitar stage, land on the singer stage, grab the mic, and I make it in time to sing "Devil with a Blue." And you know how you watch yourself do something?
It's a cartoon.
It was a cartoon. I couldn't believe it, and nobody else could believe it either. They were the band was sweating, my backup was sweating,
Dude, that's why you're in the Martini
That's
Affair.
why I'm in the Martini Affair.
Yes.
Love it. So I learned early on that you better bring it fast. So.
And you do, and you're still doing it.
Thank you. It's been so great.
Congratulations, number one. I should have said it a long time ago. Congratulations. This is so awesome, and it's also I think, awesome for the band.
Yeah, I'm really excited
When
to
you
be here.
see this happen, it's exciting, and it's good for everyone.
Yeah. So you guys better be there then. You better be there. It's going to be an eruption in Gahanna.
I think everybody that has known Martini Affair, that parties with Martini Affair on a regular basis, they're excited, dude. You know this.
I can't wait.
You know this, and to do it at Turtle Creek too. Okay, so let's just. I don't know if you know Phil, the owner of Turtle Creek, but he really, honestly, I think this is his 11th or 12th year, and his stalwart support with so many great bands in this town is huge. And for him to host this first show, I think it's a big deal. It really is. You know, he's done a lot for Columbus music, and I think Turtle Creek is a good, solid footing for you guys to kind of relaunch with you in there. It's going to be a great night Friday night on the 23rd of May 2025.
Oh yeah, get there, be there
Early.
Yeah, you're going to want to be there early. This place is going to be packed.
We know this.
It's going to be A's to E's in there. This. You guys know what it is.
We know this. But you're going to, relish in it, man.
I am. I'm really looking forward to it. So I'm really looking forward to partying with people. The energy, that symbiotic moment where you're lifting the crowd up and the crowd is lifting you up at the same time, and everybody needs it. I get real emotional about it. Sometimes people just they hear just the worst news. Life sucks, and you can hear the worst news, but if you can go out for a little bit and just be somewhere else, do something else. We always worry about solving our problems and getting the great solution and the answer to the great questions. But sometimes you just need to shut off and just escape. And
shut up a minute.
And right? Shut up a second. That's right. Shut up a second. And you just need to be immersed in something that makes you feel otherworldly, and that's what music's doing, and that's what performance does.
And you said it earlier, feel the energy.
Yeah.
And allow yourself to rejuve.
Yeah. I love it.
Brandon Anderson, episode number 112. Congratulations. It's going to be awesome this week and beyond.
Thanks, Lynn. It's been an honor. It's been so great to be here. Thanks, guys. I hope to see everybody out there.
Thank you all for listening. And Turtle Creek Tavern this coming Friday.
Yeah.
May the 23rd, 2025.
Right on.
It's going to be a great, great time. Brandon Anderson is going to share the front stage, and he's quite the energy, and it's going to be a blast. That's going to be the place to be Friday night. Have a great time, everyone.
Yeah.
I'm going to be out of town, unfortunately, but I'm excited for you guys, man.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. You have a great day.
All right. Thanks for listening. Have a great day. Bye-bye.